What's a good word, everyone? It's your boy DKB here. I just want to say thanks for all the support. The channel's been steadily growing, and the number you see below, you can drop a text, shoot a voicemail, any ideas, topics, collabs, etc. you guys want to see. I'll include them in future videos and live streams, and I'll catch you again. Be easy. What's a good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here, and we have some excellent news on the free agency front. According to Zack Rosenblatt from The Athletic, Jamien Sherwood and the New York Jets have mutual interest in trying to get a long-term deal done. And let's use the word long-term loosely, right? Probably a 2 to 3 year contract. I've seen the projections with him maybe getting a 2-year, $14 million type deal, which I think is reasonable, right? While we are using the term breakout, and I do think in this specific instance is definitely warranted, we are talking about a 1-year wonder. Other than that, he's been a career backup, a career special team player for us. But overall, even from the outside looking in, if you're Aaron Glenn, this is a story that you love to see about a homegrown guy, a nondescript day 3 player that converted safety to linebacker. Plenty of things really working against him, and see him really just put his helmet down, grind it out, take the lessons and the training that he's getting from Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, Mike Rudenberg, and really be able to implement that and show that on the field. And we've seen huge steps for him every year. Year 1, it was the fact that they were comfortable enough with him replacing C.J. Mosley when necessary as the Mike linebacker, and continuing to allow him to actually make the calls and not giving that duty to someone else. In year 2, it was the fact that he was able to go and earn himself a little bit more time. And then in year 3, again, another step up for him, ultimately leading to his opportunity here with C.J. Mosley being out for much of the year. So you got a pretty strong sample size of what it is that you want to see from Jamien Sherwood, and it gives you something really easy to be able to go out there and build on, right? Again, arguably our top free agent, regardless of position for the New York Jets, and you be able to get him on a pretty reasonable contract, right? So I think he probably gets that Quincy Williams type treatment, gets rewarded, but it's going to be on a 2 to 3 year type situation, which gives him a chance to actually go out and earn a much more significant payday, 2 years or so from now as well. And if it continues to work out, then you can see the New York Jets really being able to win in that specific situation. But there were some things to look forward to. What did we mean by breakout? He led the league in solo tackles, which again, repeatedly, I will say, isn't a stat in and of itself that I love to call out, but the solo tackles are slightly more significant in my opinion. Still not the end all be all, but it lets you know that he's around the ball and he can make the plays by himself. I don't think anybody would call Jamien Sherwood a sloppy tackler by any means, not a elite fundamentalist, but he goes out there and makes sure that he's not creating additional weaknesses or cracks in the defense, if you will. And then he was also 4th in the league in stops with 59. Stops meaning plays where the run didn't have a positive gain, right? 0 or negative yardage here. So I'm absolutely thrilled. You want a guy that can contribute in both facets, and I'm not putting him in this category with the Fred Warners and the likes, but when you have a linebacker that can play the pass, he can shut down passing zones, he can really ball hawk a lot of situations, get in those passing lanes, and then he can come downhill and offer you a little bit. And while, again, he's that lighter package, this does mean a couple of interesting things for me. For one, and by the way, we can't forget that at various points during the season, he was the 2nd highest graded linebacker in the NFL. So it's not like we're talking about him just falling off a cliff or anything here. But the first intriguing point here is that this gives you some insight, if this is true, into Aaron Glenn and the defensive coaching staff's thought process, because I think many of us believed with looking at the linebackers he had in Detroit, he'd be willing to scrap some of these guys pretty easily and figure out who can get in on his own. But this is opening up the idea that we will be maybe more of a multiple front defense, or willing to rely more on that 4-3 front. And with that said, you have quality linebackers that you can really lean on to set things up. And if you're looking at it from Aaron Glenn's standpoint, and maybe Aaron Curry, our new linebacker coach, right? what better way to be able to kick things off for you as a defensive staff than to have some of the key pieces in place? A cornerback one that you don't have to worry about, a Mike linebacker who has the experience and has already shown he can be one of the better young players in the league, and an elite guy on the interior in Quentin Williams, and some potentially elite guys on the exterior with the Jermaine Johnson and a potential Will McDonald, right? So really thrilled. We'll see if this happens. I think the best part, again, about this whole situation, if it comes to fruition, will really just be that we would have really made off like thieves and being able to get Quincy Williams on a reasonable deal and get Jamien Sherwood here on a pretty reasonable contract as well, without needing to really break the bank for any particular reason. So let me know what you guys think. Mutual interest between both sides. Do you think we should honestly bring him back, or should we be looking at some kind of other option? And I'll catch you guys again. Peace.